Watch a sumo match, and you will see it before a single grip is taken. The wrestler pauses at the edge of the ring, reaches into a wooden box, and hurls a handful of salt into the air. Tourists assume it is showmanship, or perhaps something for the footing. It is neither. That arc of white powder is a religious act, one of the oldest in Japan, and once you understand it, you will start seeing the same quiet gesture absolutely everywhere in this country. Look closely, and Japan reveals a pattern. Cones of salt sit beside restaurant doorways. Ladles of water wait at the entrance to every shrine. Thick ropes of twisted rice straw circle trees, rocks, even office buildings. None of these are decoration. They are all instruments of a single system, a technology, you might say, for managing something invisible. The Japanese call that invisible thing kegare, impurity, and the act of removing it is called harae, purification. Here is the idea that makes Japan make sense. Kegare is not sin. It carries no guilt, no judgment, no fallen soul. Kegare is closer to dust. It settles on everyone, simply through contact with death, sickness, blood, or the ordinary friction of living. You did nothing wrong to acquire it, and that changes everything. Where sin demands confession and forgiveness, dust demands only one thing: washing. Purity, in the Japanese sacred world, is not a moral achievement. It is the natural state, waiting to be restored. The oldest story in Japan is, at its heart, a story about washing. In the 8th century chronicles, the god Izanagi descends into Yomi, the land of the dead, to retrieve his lost wife. He fails, and flees back to the world of the living carrying the pollution of death on his skin. So he does the only sensible thing. He wades into a river and washes. And as he rinses his left eye, a new god is born, Amaterasu, the sun goddess herself. Purification, in this telling, is not just cleaning. It is the act that creates light. That myth is reenacted, in miniature, millions of times a day. The stone basin at a shrine entrance is called a temizuya, and it exists so that you can perform Izanagi's river in 30 seconds. The form matters. Take the ladle in your right hand and pour water over your left. Switch hands and wash the right. Pour water into your cupped left palm and rinse your mouth, never drinking from the ladle directly. What most visitors get wrong is not the order. It is thinking of it as hygiene. The water is not removing germs. It is removing the road you traveled to get here. For some, a ladle of water is not enough. In the practice called misogi, practitioners in white robes walk into rivers, into the winter sea, or directly beneath mountain waterfalls, and let the cold water hammer down on them as they chant. Shrine priests still do this to prepare for major rituals. Ordinary believers do it to reset their lives. The shock of the cold is not a side effect, it is the point. For a few breathless seconds, there is no past and no future, no resume and no reputation. Only water. Whatever you were carrying, the river takes it downstream. But why salt? The answer is hiding inside the Izanagi story. He washed away death in moving water, and in some tellings, in the sea itself. Salt is the sea made portable. It is the ocean's purifying power, dried into crystals you can keep in a jar by the door. This is why sumo wrestlers throw it before combat. The ring is a sacred space, and each match begins with the world being made clean. And it is why, even today, many Japanese returning from a funeral will sprinkle salt on themselves before stepping through their own front door, leaving death outside, where it belongs. Outside restaurants and shops, you will sometimes spot a small, perfect cone of white beside the entrance. This is marihyo, piled salt. Ask the owner why it is there, and you may hear that it invites customers and good fortune. One popular legend traces the custom to ancient China. An emperor with countless consorts traveled between them in an ox-drawn carriage, and one clever woman piled salt at her gate so the ox would stop to lick it, bringing the emperor to her door night after night. A charming story, but beneath the folklore, the logic is pure Shinto. Salt marks a threshold as clean, and good things enter where the ground is pure. Water washes. Salt protects. The third tool does something subtler. It draws a line. The shimenawa is a rope of twisted rice straw, hung with zigzag streamers of white paper called shirta. You will find it stretched above shrine entrances, wrapped around the waists of ancient trees, and slung between rocks and the sea. At Izumo, one of Japan's oldest shrines, the Great Shimenawa weighs more than 5 tons, the largest in the country. Whatever it encircles, the message is the same. From here inward, the ordinary world does not apply. Notice what the rope does not do. It does not cage the god inside, and it does not keep people out. You can usually walk right up to a rope tree and touch its bark. The Shimenawa is not a fence. It is information. In Shinto, certain trees, rocks, and waterfalls are seen as yorishiro, places where kami, the divine presences, come to rest. The rope simply tells you, something is here, arrive clean, behave accordingly. If you watched our first episode, this should feel familiar. It is the Torii Gates logic, spun into straw. Japan's sacred world is not hidden behind walls. It is marked by thresholds. Set this next to the tradition many Western visitors grew up with, and the contrast is striking. There is no original sin here, no idea that a person arrives in the world already stained. There is no confession, because there is nothing to confess. Kegare is a condition, not a crime. A Shinto priest waving the purification wand over you is not forgiving you. He is dusting you off. Scholars of religion point out what a different inner life this produces. Guilt says, I am bad. Impurity says only, I have picked something up along the way. One demands redemption. The other simply asks you to wash. Once you have this lens, modern Japan comes into focus. The hot towel handed to you before a meal. The national devotion to the evening bath. A soak that is about restoration, not scrubbing. Shoes off at the door, always. School children with mops and buckets, cleaning their own classrooms every afternoon, a practice that regularly astonishes foreign observers. The Shinkansen cleaning crews who reset an entire bullet train in 7 minutes and bow to it as it departs. It is tempting to call all this Japanese cleanliness culture, but culture is rarely born from nowhere. This one grew in the shadow of the temizuya. So let us correct the common misreadings. Japan is not clean because Japanese people are obsessed with germs. Microbes were unknown when these rituals formed. And purity here is not Puritanism. It passes no judgment on pleasure, on the body, on a glass of sake. Indeed, sake itself is offered to the gods. Impurity is also not contagious shame. A person in mourning is not shunned as evil, merely understood to be carrying something heavy that time and ritual will lift. Miss this, and Japan looks like a nation of fussy perfectionists. See it, and the fussiness reveals itself as something almost tender, constant, small acts of starting over. Most Japanese today will tell you they are not religious, and statistically they are right. Weekly worship is rare. Yet watch what hands do. The salt still flies in the sumo ring. The ladle still pours at the shrine on New Year's morning, when millions visit. The rope is still replaced, year after year, on the same trees. Anthropologists call this orthopraxy, right practice surviving long after belief has gone quiet. Perhaps that is because the underlying promise never stopped being useful. Whatever this year put on you, it can be washed off. You are allowed to begin again. So the next time you see a cone of salt by a doorway, or pour cold water over your hands at a shrine gate, you will know what you are really doing. Joining the oldest habit in Japan, the gentle, endless work of keeping the world ready for what is sacred. If this changed how you will read the streets of Japan, consider subscribing. This is Sacred Japan, a series about the meanings hiding inside the country's most familiar sights. Next time, one night a year, Japan's quietest gods leave their shrines and ride through the streets in golden palanquins. Why the Matsuri festival is not a party, but a visit. Until then, keep your thresholds clean.